Hi, this is Dr. Scott Young, and today we're going to talk about NESARA JASARA, but what we're going to talk about is there going to be a new currency? Now, I can't always answer every single nation. We're just going to talk more about America. Frankly, that's going to be pretty similar in every single nation. So I'm going to hit more of the highlights of these questions here. So, what will it be called? Basically, we have the US dollar, and it will be called, at first, we believe, called the US note. So, you'll have the US dollar, it'll flip digitally 1 to 1 into the US note. Now, later on, it might be flip over to the US Treasury note, and it might be called the US or the rainbow currency. I know I called it that in the past. I don't think it'll be the pretty, rainbow currency. I think it'll look more blandish, a little different. I think it's more bland with the US note and then more colorful down the road. It's a rainbow currency and the US Treasury note. We don't know for sure, but that's what we predict. That's the prediction at this point. Again, no one has for sure, but that's the prediction. Okay. Um, and so and the old one's a fiat dollar. Okay. So when we go to the US note, that's going to be backed by gold. Okay. Now, so it's just going to be a boom, boom. I mean, if it's a digital, it's a perfectly moved over thing. You're not going to have to do anything. Okay. So it's going to be, it's in your quantum financial system. It's just going to be boop, boop. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to make an appointment. You're all good. Okay. I've talked about that one before. Secondly, is there a limit to what you can switch over? Now, reality is, if you walk in there with $500, they're not going to worry about you. If you walk in there with, um, if you walk in there with thousands of dollars, they might look at you kind of funny, but probably not going to be too big of a deal. Now, reality is, if I do a deposit as a business owner, if I walk in with a deposit more than $10,000, it sets off a little bit of red flags through the drug agencies. So they think it's like a drug deposit. Okay. So if you think it's more than $10,000, they might actually ask you to fill out a form and say, how'd you get this money? What'd you do with it? And if you look like you're a legal person, not an illegal, that might be an issue. So we talk about illegals, that's probably not going to be really a good thing. So illegals, you're going to have to go back to your old country. So guess what? There's a fix to those kinds of things. Okay. Um, but if you walked in there with hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, what would you do with that? Arrest. Why? Because more than likely that's an illegal person. I'm not just talking about, across the border illegal. We're talking about maybe a drug guy, or a sex trafficking, or someone doing heavy nefarious kind of stuff. That's really perfect to kind of get those guys off the streets, because as they fill out these kind of forms, they probably don't have any banking issues. They've been doing all kinds of illegal whatevers, and that's the real cool thing. So and I've talked about that a little bit before. What's the process? The probable process is, you might, with a massive amount of money, you'd walk in there. If a significant amount of money, you'd have to walk in there, probably make an appointment. Other than that, I mean, my gosh, I mean, what would you do if you have change, or if you have like, if you have, even right now, if you just had $1,000 of Canadian dollars and you were in Canada, and you just would walk into the bank and you just change it over, they would flip it over, and you'd be fine. It's no big deal. Okay. So you're not going to have to worry about that. Again, you're not going to have to make an appointment for this stuff unless you had a massive amount of monies. Okay. Don't worry about that. And if you had a massive amount of money, they'd be looking at you kind of funny, like, how come you have $1 million US? What did you do? Okay. Now, there's this last little question. It's a little crazy because there's a guy, and I don't even want to get into his name. Uh, it, Graham or whatever, some guy. He's talking about, can I get a free Q phone? Guys, can we stop the stupid here? I don't even know what a Q phone is. When the iPhone came out, it was a great, cool thing. I mean, do we have a Q phone? I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, like, do we have like, oh, there's someone in the back room, like Steve Jobs is still alive and he's making Q phones with this little, thing? Come on, can we like be calm and come up with things that make sense? Um, I mean, that's when I hear people like say things like, Steve Jobs is still alive, and that all this Queen and stuff, and I just go, can we just stay on target here? Stay in the world, and we talk about all these people who are still alive. Ugh. And then we talk about hundreds and millions of Q phones. Hey man, there's going to be new cool technologies out there. Can we just be calm? We don't know what kind of new technologies are going to be available to us, but let's stop with the ideas of that. Okay. How are we going to access the quantum financial system? It's probably going to be an app. Okay. We don't know that. I mean, we're going to talk more about that down the road, but the reality is it's probably going to be as simple as an app. You go on, and that's actually what we've heard. It's going to be an app. You go into it and you can access it. It's very simple, but you're going to learn about it. It's not going to be that hard because we got people who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who don't know how to utilize it. If they can get on their bank account, they're probably going to be able to figure this out. So just be calm. Don't worry about it too much. Okay, guys, just be calm. Don't freak out about this stuff. And when you hear someone who kind of sounds like over the top, stop listening to them. Okay. So, like, subscribe. Don't ask me the crazy questions. If you think it's kind of crazy and it seems out there like interplanetary stuff or galactic federation stuff, I'm going to delete you. I'm sorry. I'm going to delete you. I'm not going to answer those questions. All right. So, like and subscribe. Thanks so much.